because I didn't realize that the ones we had in our notes, they all had an amplitude of 1. So I want you all to see, well, what do you do when that's not a 1? Still pretty simple. All right, so tangent. Where's my first asymptote going to fall for tangent? The first asymptote for the mama of tangent. Pi over 2 or 90 degrees. So normally we would be right here. Now don't draw this in because we got to move it. This is where I would be. But when you take this and set that equal to 0, it's telling me to move it. What direction do I need to move my asymptote? I need to move this asymptote. X equals negative pi over 2, which means I have to move it left pi over 2 or left 90 degrees. All right, do we agree with that? All right, so it used to be here, but now I'm going to move it over. 1, 2 is actually going to fall. I'm going to put it in green. That green asymptote is where my new asymptotes will fall. Oh, you right. I was just playing with y'all. You all locked in. It's going to go left. So it's going to hit 0 now. All right, so do we all agree? Okay. So I'm going to erase where we were because that's gone. And one of the questions, and I don't have the questions to the side that it asks, but I know one of them is period, right? What do you think the period is going to be? Pi, right? Because there's still a 1 right here. So my period is pi. So that means starting here, I want you to draw in a new asymptote going left and right every 4 ticky marks. Because every 4 ticky marks is 180 degrees or pi. So let's go ahead and draw those in. All right, and now let's write our asymptote statement. So where are my asymptotes going to fall? Well, my first one, because it moved to the left, my asymptotes are going to be at x equals 0 plus or minus pi n. That's my asymptote. Can I see what it asks you on the... Oh, you don't have homework? No, it's okay. What does it ask for? And then the domain and range, and that's it? Okay. All right. So normally tangent, does tangent go up or down? The mom. Does it go up? Is the wave going up like that? Or does it go down? Which one does tangent do? Go up, right. So normally I would have my points here, here, and here. Now, don't write this down. Don't write it down. But we have a couple changes. The first change we have is a vertical shift down 1. And we have an amplitude of what? What's my amplitude? 3. So what that's going to do, that's going to move this middle point. We're going to actually move this middle point, which was at 0. It's going to move down to -1. And now the distance between this point and the next point is, I'm actually going to have to go up 3. So instead of just going up 1, I have to go up 3. So I'm going to hop up 3. So 1, 2, 3. So that's going to move this point up here. Because it's stretching it. It's stretching the distance between my 3 points. And then this one, which is what's here, is going to do what? Go down 3. 1, 2, 3. So it's actually going to stretch down here. So, oops. Right here. So the wave is stretched. In amplitude, if you think back to what you learned when we did transformations, A, H, and K, A is a vertical stretch. It's still the same thing. Amplitude is a vertical stretch. It's stretching it out. All right, so here, this goes away. And this is what my points look like because it's stretched out. So my points used to be so it's, if you go back to how we do our sine and cosine, these are my 3 points. So I have the -1 here, and then I'm going down 3. So down 3 puts me at -4. Up 3 would put me at 2. So my 3 points is stretches. Okay, so I'm just going to repeat that pattern. So we have here, here, here. And then we have here, here, here. And that would be your, and I have to remember, I'm going to do that right now before I forget, to change one of those graphs in my notes for next year to have an amplitude change so you all can see that in the notes. So my domain is all real numbers, except x cannot equal 0 plus or minus pi n, and my range is -infinity to infinity. Okay. Thank you, Marissa, for bringing that to my attention because I did not realize we didn't have an amplitude change. So do you all understand how to do an amplitude? So when it's an amplitude change, you still have your midline or your K, and then you just use your amplitude to figure out the distance between your other 2 points. And that's homework 5.